Tilda, congratulations on the film and congratulations on your performance as well. I wondered how it felt portraying somebody who's such an important figure in the women's movement.
It was an incredible honour to be stepping into her shoes, but also incredibly daunting. She's made such a big impact on the world, and I think, you know, it's that funny thing, I'm Australian, she's Australian, and I feel so shocked that before I started on this project, I didn't know a lot about her life. I knew her name, I knew the song I Am Woman, but I didn't know about all of the sort of huge impact she'd had on the world and how massive she was as a pop star and an activist. So it was an amazing thing to actually learn about her impact through playing this role.
So you really didn't know that much about her beforehand then?
It's shocking, isn't it? And it's weird because I talk to a lot of my friends here too, and they're the same, but yet you go to a women's march and there'll be at least, you know, quite a lot really of signs that say, I am woman, hear me roar. Like, this song has still had a huge impact, but I feel like not a lot of people know about the woman behind the song.
And how did you react when you were offered the part then?
Very shocked. I mean, at that time, I found out I got the role. I just turned 23. I was living in Adelaide. And, you know, this is the part of a woman, 70s pop star, amazing sort of feminist activist. The film tracks her from 24 to 48. She has 2 children, wins a Grammy, goes through a divorce. Like, at that stage, I was just going, how on earth, like, what are you thinking? Like, how am I going to do this? And I sort of felt that until we finished filming, to be honest. But I think I was so passionate about the script. And I remember reading it, still not quite imagining myself actually being in the film, but I loved the story so much. And I was so fascinated by her and her life, and would just, as soon as I read it, just spent days kind of Googling her and watching her amazing performances and speeches. And I was so curious about her that I think I sort of just trusted that that curiosity would pay off and we'd figure it out.
So were you able to meet Helen as part of your preparation and your research for the part?
I didn't meet her before we started filming. I met her once we finished filming. And that was kind of a creative choice. The director had spent a lot of time with Helen and her family. So she had a lot of knowledge of her, and there's a lot of footage of Helen online and on videos we got sent, and a lot of stories from people about Helen. And, you know, I think we're telling her life at such a particular time, like in the 70s, the sort of height of her fame. And Helen was very sad to say, was at a very different stage of her life when we sort of started making this. And I think it was really important to just stay focused on that section of her life. And I think it's also just very daunting to play someone like her. And we wanted to be able to have the freedom to create our version of her as well.
Now, I guess when you're playing a real person, that still sort of comes with a certain amount of responsibility. I mean, were there any aspects of the role that you found particularly challenging?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest challenge was just knowing you were playing Helen Reddy as well, because she is so amazing and so loved, and to make sure that you're honoring. And I fell so in love with her while making this. Like, the more I learned about her, the more I fell in love with her. And it made it kind of almost, I got in my own way a lot because of that, I think, because you start to think about how am I allowed to step in and tell this? And but I guess the other big challenges were, I was quite nervous before doing this film. I'd done a lot of kind of quite indie films where I was playing very much a version of myself, not putting on a voice and physicality and recreating performances. And so the whole thing of like trying to find a way to make Helen, our version of Helen, fit inside my body and feel truthful, so that I could do a scene not feeling like I was doing some kind of bad impersonation, and still make it feel true to me, but make sure there was enough of those things in there to make people who know Helen sort of go, oh, that's Helen we're watching. So I think that a big part of that was makeup and costume as well. We did a lot of makeup and costume testing before we started filming. And I think that helps trick your eye, and yeah, just heaps of preparation. But I guess that was the most challenging bit, was trying to make sure that although you're playing someone everyone knows and loves, trying to honor her and also try and be truthful in our version of the telling of that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, when we're watching the film, that's not actually you singing, is it?
No. I wish I could say yes, but it's not.
Can you sing?
Oh, look, I sing in the shower and in the car, but that's about it. You know, we did test my voice for a while. I just don't sound like Helen. I'm not a professional singer, and Helen has such an amazing voice. And I think, you know, we're telling a story about an amazing singer, and we wanted to make sure that the voice coming out of our version of Helen was an amazing singer and someone that sounded really like Helen, because we couldn't use Helen's original tracks because we had to manipulate them a bit to sort of add emotion in to fit where we were going with the story and stuff. So we needed another voice, and yeah, it just felt really important that that felt as close to Helen's voice as possible.
So when you were filming the scenes where you were singing, were you actually singing at the time and then they just sort of dubbed it over?
Yeah, so it was a big process, actually. I mean, it sounds kind of easy, but that was most of the preparation, was learning the songs. I had singing lessons, I did breathing lessons to make sure I was breathing the right way. And then we would sort of do different tracks back and forth where I would sing, and then Chelsea, the amazing singer who actually is Helen's voice in the film, she would do a track and I'd learn her timing and then sing to that timing. And it was very much a collaboration between both of us. And then after I'd filmed the performances, she would then do another recording so that it could match the emotion of the performance that I gave. So it was quite amazing that we got to do it that way.
Talking about how it's a film really with two love stories, if you like. There's Helen's relationship with her husband and also her relationship with Lillian. And I wondered how you went about creating that on-screen close friendship with Danielle.
That was the easiest bit of acting I've ever done. I mean, she is just so gorgeous and lovely and smart and funny. So that was no acting required in those scenes. She's really an amazing person, and it was really great to be able to do that journey together. And I completely agree. It was so important because we don't get a lot of time in that relationship to sort of explore that. It was so important that Lillian in our story becomes sort of an amalgamation of all the amazing, strong women in Helen's life. And I couldn't think of a better actress to be playing that person. She's amazing.
So after all the research that you did for the role and for the film, you must have quite a collection of Helen Reddy's music on Spotify.
Oh, yes. Oh, I mean, I think I could start a museum about Helen right now. I could still do all of her interviews verbatim if you wanted me to. I'm so the epic fan now.
So which song gets played the most? And it doesn't have to be I Am Woman, by the way. Tell me the truth.
I do love I Am Woman. I love You and Me Against the World, but my favourite song to sing is Angie Baby.
Ah, one of the gothic ones. Because they are quite dark and gothic, aren't they?
Yeah, and I loved how she performed it. There was always so much like drama in the way that she sort of acted them out. I mean, that's what I love about Helen as a performer. She's such a storyteller. She really gets on stage and like tells you the story of the song. And I think I just loved how she told that story. So fun.
Tilda, it's been lovely talking to you. Thank you so much for your time. And again, thank you very much for the film and your performance.
Well, thanks so much, Peter. It was lovely to meet you. Have
My
a good
pleasure.
day.